everybody, welcome back to DeHaven Family Farm. It's a nice day out here today. I think there's some rain moving in, but what I need to work on here today is a little bit of light duty brush cutting. So our Kubota SVL75, that is new to us this year. I've never had it on this brush cutter. I've only had this on the New Holland skid steer that we have. So while I don't anticipate any issues, I'm going to try running this today on some lighter duty stuff, see how it does, and that way as we get into the summer and we need to start doing some real tall stuff, we'll kind of know what to expect. This is a Rut Manufacturing brush cutter. It's basically it's a very simple one, up to like 4-inch diameter material it does. You can see it's run directly by a pump. So the trouble I have with the New Holland is sometimes it gets bogged down and you can hear the hydraulic oil bypassing, and when that happens a lot, the hydraulic oil temperature heats up. So I don't know what's going to happen on this machine. So like on the New Holland, if I had say 4 or 5 acres to mow, I really couldn't run this because it's constantly bypassing on taller stuff or wet stuff, and it just heats the oil up too much. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with this machine, if the system on this is different and if it'll run it better, or if the issue is actually with the cutter itself and there should be a hydraulic pump running a gearbox. If that would sort of, like a gear reduction type thing, would take some of the pressure off the hydraulic motor. So that might be an option. I might just have to look at getting a different cutter that has a different system that runs it. So enough about all that stuff. We are going to work today. We're going to go around a bunch of the field edges. We usually keep those mowed down, so if we go through with the quad or the gator or something, it's easy to get around. And then I'm also going to do between these pumpkin rows. There's no pumpkins planted yet. Will be pretty soon, but you can see like the yellows and things there. We're going to do that. We're going to mow around the apple trees. Just a whole bunch of oddball cutting here today, and we're going to see how it goes. So I hope you'll join me and we'll see how this combo does. All right, we'll start with an in-cab view for today. And I have to have the camera off center because over here to the left of my finger there's a bar for the handle. In the excavator I can put the camera in the center. This is going to be a little bit off center, so hopefully that won't get annoying. But we're going to start around these hay wagons in the building and stuff here, so, and then we'll get you some outside footage when we start doing some of the trails and other interesting things. So let's get our hydraulics turned on here. All right, away we go. Let's not hit any wagon tongues. It's going to take me a little bit to get used to running this down here to do a lot of the mowing, but that puts a lot of hours on our lawnmower. So I started using this brush cutter a couple years ago, and it works good. So I am going to finish doing some of the stuff around the building, and we'll get some more footage when we do some of the field edges and in between the pumpkin rows. This stuff right here is kind of boring. Doing the field Well, I just got done cleaning off a bunch of the junk that was on the top. I think we're done for today. Got all the pumpkin rows done. Did some of the paths around the field. Didn't do everything perfectly. The apple trees, I usually wait till more towards midsummer, and then I'll go around the trees and everything a little bit more neatly. But I can say that this machine here, I didn't notice any time that I lost power or flow, whatever you want to call it, on the cutter like I do with the New Holland. When that gets overwhelmed, you can actually hear the hydraulic oil bypassing in the machine, and then you know that it's happening. In this machine, I couldn't hear whether it was bypassing or doing anything. Everything seemed to work normally. The New Holland has a temperature gauge for the hydraulic oil, so you can kind of watch that. This does not, but I had no lights or anything come on telling me that you know, there was a problem or whatever. So that went much better than the New Holland. And the only thing I will say for the track machine versus the tires, obviously, you know, when you crest a knoll with this, it kind of wants to come up and then, I don't want to say slam down, but tip down. So when you have that happening a lot, it takes a lot more correction on the cutter to keep that mowing nicely, whereas the New Holland kind of tracks over it differently. But overall, I would say that I do like running this cutter on this machine better. So that is going to be the end of this video. We have some rain coming. I'm gonna go put this away and put a couple other things away and call it a day with the equipment. So if you have any questions about what you saw in the video, the equipment, just leave in the comment section down below. I will answer as best I can on things. I appreciate everybody watching. If you are not subscribed, please hit the little button. I would appreciate that. And if you wouldn't mind the thumbs up on your way out the door, I would appreciate that as well. So thanks everybody for watching, and I sure hope to see y'all on the next video.